You have your standards, is that what you're trying to tell me?
I do. They're not that high, but I got it.
We're on. We're on.
Shane, how are you?
We are
Good.
on.
That's what Nikki said.
Okay, I will call this meeting of Sunday County Commissioners to order Tuesday, April 11th at 10 o'clock a.m. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, a short prayer. Heavenly Father, at this Lenten season, we ask that you watch over us. We ask that you carefully watch over those protecting our rights, serving our country, and we ask that you give us the wisdom to make the correct decisions for the people we represent. We ask all this through your Son, our Lord. Amen. Okay, we have roll call.
Commissioner Brickman?
Yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Stacy? Here.
And then we need a motion to approve the digital audio video recording of the previous board session from Thursday, April 6th, and the written index of that meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, so this long, tedious agenda we better get into here. Joint Justice Center, anybody want to bring the beam in and show them or anything?
Is it very heavy? Can I
It is
one
very
handed?
heavy.
I'll go get it.
It ain't
It's in the back
heavy,
room if you want to see
it's
it.
a bother.
Who's orchestrating the signing, making sure everybody's notified?
Well, they're actually doing two signings. One they're gonna do the day of, which is the 18th at 1:30. They're gonna have the topping off ceremony, and then actually have people that are there be able to sign it. They're gonna
Sign
meet-
that one?
That, not this one.
Right,
They
but
have
the
another
one that's
one.
gonna be hidden,
Yeah, the one that's gonna be hidden.
okay?
They're gonna meet over on Court Street somewhere to do that at 1:30 on the 18th.
1:30, everybody wanna know that time, so that's,
Yep, I confirmed that this morning.
okay.
Is that hard hat?
I said, I don't think I heard back from them when I sent them, but I didn't see an email when I got back.
No, I
this
just,
morning.
I had John call them this morning because I didn't see a response back after you sent that email out, so I wanted to let everybody know
1:30
today.
on April 18th, all
Yeah.
right?
Is that hard hats, open to the public? What-
It's
what's-
gonna be on Court Street, so we'll be outside of the cage.
Cause-
So-
Yeah, yeah, so yes, I mean,
You know,
anybody can
yeah.
attend.
Anybody can attend?
Yes. Yep.
And who's coordinating the signing of the white beam? So that we-
White Beam, I gotta get with, I mean, I guess we gotta decide who's all signing it.
We were gonna, I saw your email. We talked about the email going to everybody who's been part of the project and let them communicate down, like Judge Shuff and Judge, all the judges could let their staffs know if they want to allow them to get over here sometime to sign it before they need to take it. And I assumed by noon the day before, they're gonna need to take it back over there, but they didn't reply.
This is gonna be in a different area, so this
Right.
one doesn't necessarily have to be over there for the 18th.
Well, we talked about, I mean, we've got to probably put some type of limit on a white beam, and
There's only two sides that are gonna show.
Right,
There's
so,
only two sides we
I
can
mean,
sign.
I don't wanna have anybody, not included that needs to be included. But, I think maybe we ought to talk about the major contractors, the major subs, and all elected officials. And all members of, but I think that would include all members of the leadership team.
I think they would get,
Yeah.
Okay, so does that make sense?
Yep.
Is that fair?
yeah.
If we start to get into department heads and all those kind of things, I don't know where it ends.
No, I figured the court team and then if there's staff, but if you want to leave it
Yeah.
at just the court team and all elected officials, which gets
And
all
once
the
they
city,
sign it,
gets all the
there's-
city council,
yeah.
gets all of our folks, and
Yeah.
that works out.
And I did reach out to the chamber about the markers, and they said they use the markers on.
Lenny Klaus brought some
Did he?
permanent markers
Okay,
in. so
okay, good.
You have those to choose from, there's like 10 of them. We probably ought to stick with a couple of colors rather than get a rainbow up there.
But I mean, I like a rainbow.
Because that one will
flowers.
be visible
Yeah,
wherever
but we're
they're.
dressed in red, white, and blue today,
True.
so
You take note of
we
that.
did that for you. If we can't bring the agenda, we bring the color scheme. But my suggestion would be we just do it in red and blue on white.
I think that's a great
Whatever the
idea.
marker, yeah, that's, if
All
there's a
right.
blue marker and a red marker.
Red and blue.
So I'll get an email out to all the leadership team, tell them we have it here, they can sign it at their convenience.
So they're gonna take that one over the 18th, but, or not. I realize that that's not the one that's going up.
I don't think so.
Okay,
I think that's gonna be kind of that.
So we know we got time
Finished
then.
product,
Yes,
yeah.
okay.
yeah,
That's
that
fine.
they're gonna do another beam that actually won't be exposed, but they're gonna have.
And that's gonna be
people
open to
it.
sign whoever's there.
I think so, yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I told them I'd confirm the flag size as soon as I got a hold of Tanya or Mac, and I just didn't have time before.
So you've got
on
that
Friday.
flag. I've got the other flag.
And you got
that
the
we
other
could-
flag.
That we could do at another time. So we've got one, Shane, that flew over the Capitol in Washington, and we got one that a veteran donated to fly on the 18th.
Awesome.
We used the one that was flown over the Capitol, probably the day that we opened the courthouse or whatever.
I like it.
You've got that flag up here, right?
The one you brought?
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
it's here.
camp.
You
Yeah.
got that, okay.
Yeah, in my communications to the construction team was to let us know on what else we needed to know as far as, so we could at least kind of have an idea what the agenda is, because something about this, the tree planting, and that's something that's traditional from their perspective that we didn't know anything about, and they're getting, and we just kind of don't know, kind of an order and what's gonna happen when.
Okay,
And one last thing, and I want to bring both of you up to date on, is the cornerstone. I've talked to the masons, I've talked to the architect. We should have information this week as to when an appropriate time to set the cornerstone would be, who all should be invited, how the ceremony should go, which corner, design can commence at that point. So, I talked to Rick Gillette, I talked to several of the other masons, I talked to the architect, and I gave John this information as well. So just so that we're all on the same page, that is moving forward. The idea would be that there would be some kind of ceremony
Right.
with the service clubs maybe being invited, not just the masons, but they want to broaden it to veterans groups, Knights of Columbus, whoever. There's actually a trowel ceremony that they will do, and so at some point, I'm expecting next week, we'll have information back as to when in the construction timeline it looks like it would fit to do that. You want to have it kind of cleaned up so people can be there, and the masons will handle the ceremony part. We need to provide the space, the timing, and presumably we're paying for the cornerstone. I don't know if there's been any other conversation on that. And then the design would come back to the leadership team before it's commissioned. Is that everybody's understanding?
that's fine. Is there anyone locally who can do the cornerstone?
To make it?
Yeah.
I think like Wellies, it's not actually a cornerstone, it's
Right.
gonna actually be a plaque, it's either gonna be two faces or one face. There's still some discussion of, what should be included on the cornerstone, whether it should be the Masonic logo, the elected officials, just the date. And so, all those conversations haven't to be had yet, unless somebody else has some other information on that.
No, we've just, I think when I had been involved in it, it was more about the availability of the masons than it was about, the construction guys pretty much said anytime after May 1st or something.
Yeah.
They could do that. I wonder if we could tie it into the June 10th.
I asked about that, they said it seemed a little soon.
Okay, all right.
So that's what I said, I thought that'd be a nice tie-in, but he's like, you really want it to be a time when, and this is talking to the architect, when the ground can be cleared up, everybody can be there, it's starting to look like a building. And he said that's the better time to do kind of a ceremony.
If we can get somebody locally to put that together, that would be great.
Yeah, they're very enthusiastic, they want to be part of it, and one of the limitations is, is it the Grand Master of Ohio wants
Right.
to come and do it? He's tied up on Saturdays, so could we do it on a Sunday or a Friday or something like that? I'm like, those are all details we can work out.
Sure.
As long as it's a big community celebration and we have multiple color guards there, and it's not exclusive, I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. We should check with the chamber, see if it isn't a Saturday, it won't matter about the farmer's market, but maybe there's another event that it could be tied to. I'm not certain. I'm sure there's some big things happening this summer downtown.
We've got line of sight to construction, you know, as it progresses, so we'll have opportunity to weigh in on the date.
Did anything come to mind to you in July or August, Mr. Zach, that's happening downtown? Nothing pops up.
We could say that for the
Other
Heritage
than the
Festival.
farmers markets, but I can ask John and have him, and
Yeah,
get
well,
an email
Heritage
to you if
Festival
there's
would be a bad
anything we're not
idea.
You know,
aware of.
that would be a historic.
Most
time
things
to-
happen in September or end of August. I mean, there was some discussion about doing the end of August, the art fair, farmers market, music and arts festival.
Okay.
All in that last week of August, I think is what was being talked about with the county.
No, if we could tie other events into it, I think that'd be the ideal
That
thing.
would be the only thing, and that's end of August. That would be the only thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, the time capsule will not be part of the cornerstone. That's gonna be a whole separate.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's best just keep those things separate. I don't think they're interrelated in any way other than,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
think
lines
it
are
just,
separate.
it just need to have all these different type of little milestones because
Right.
it keeps it as, you know, the people's project and they can, if they can't participate in all, they can at least probably get to maybe one of them and of course they'll be reading about it and all of that kind of cool stuff and then all leading up to the biggie fair, moving in.
All right.
Anything new on the landscaping?
We're meeting this week and we're still contemplating. We're trying to set a budget. So.
We got the sidewalk superintendent, I don't know if you've seen it from Gilbane.
Oh, I didn't.
I didn't know if you wanted to give an update on that at all.
What
We just got that yesterday. And it is up on the website, so.
Looks like they're working on exterior walls on the first floor. Mechanical engineering stuff overhead rough in first and second floor. Says happening next week, installing exterior studs, exterior sheathing on the first and second. Ductwork overhead first floor, HVAC piping overhead first floor, so all things that are gonna make it a real building, right?
We're gonna have a close-in just in time to be hot.
They're gonna lose that air conditioning.
Dr. Seuss wrote this construction plan. The, just on the landscaping, the one thing that does come to mind is the city doesn't have any plans to do anything on Court Street. It's not to be streetscaped or anything. At some point, there was an MOU that said that they'd look at closing Court Street and making it a pedestrian way and do some streetscape there. At this point, it's not in the near-term plan for the city. So I just point that out as, you know, we're gonna have to reconstruct sidewalks on that side and reconstruct some of the road from the construction process. That's going to be the contractor's responsibility. So we may need to look at, you know, how we interact with Court Street on that side. The last thing I want to see is, you know, kind of a patchwork quilt there when we're done. So just, you know, that's gonna be part of it, sidewalks on that side and.
Yeah, when we signed the MOU with the city regarding the courthouse, and one, as you say, we talked about a number of things. We talked about the RTA building, we talked about East Tower, and we talked about Court Street being a pedestrian walkway. Obviously, we got some pushback from some people that have businesses on Court Street, concerned about that. So, it would be a nice addition to the downtown, but I'm not sure that that's gonna happen in the near term.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have it on their near-term focus, so whatever we do, we have to assume that Court Street's going to look like it looks, other than the alterations that we make.
Okay, that horse was beat pretty good. Anything else to add to old business?
Can we just go over the schedule for the month, just so I'm sure we've got everything, since it is a little different this month?
For the month of April?
For the month of
Okay,
April.
as far as I understand it, we had a work session at 10 o'clock on Thursday, this Thursday.
Yep, and I have airport and Ohio Historical Connection scheduled for discussions for that day, and I think Shane sent out an email with a couple other topics for Thursday.
Okay, so the Ohio Historical has to do with what we want to talk about doing with the $50,000 Mr. Stacy talked about?
Yep, and I
Okay.
think Nikki got out a press release and got quite a few of the organizations invited to that meeting.
Good. And then we have a meeting Tuesday as scheduled.
Tuesday, and
With
we
the work
do-
session
with
at
the work
9:30.
session. I have our soil and water coming in to give her report for work session, so we will keep that work session.
And then Thursday, we have a meeting at Sentinel at regular time, 10
Yep.
o'clock.
Yep,
And then the following Tuesday,
following Tuesday,
which is what?
the 25th.
25th, which I will not be here for.
Yeah, and I think we had initially talked about having the IT committee, or the IT discussion then, and I know there's a lot of discussion going on. Can we push that to the 27th to do
Absolutely.
in
Yeah, that'll be for the work session
work
on the
session.
27th.
I did get our IT committee scheduled for the 17th, so it is scheduled, so hopefully
And
we'll,
that gets us into May, and then we will look at the schedule and see how it's going for sure.
I just want to make sure I had the dates right.
And,
Oh,
okay, just a slight point of clarification, just to make sure I'm as much a question. On the 17th for our IT committee,
Yes.
I know the COG asked about being there, but that I mean, I guess anybody can be there, but the discussion is about the counties. This is not, it's about what do we need out of the grant? What of our, do we need to accomplish based on it, we weren't fully funded,
Yeah,
loan, no loan, all that kind of stuff, okay.
I think it was our idea to
I
get
just want to make sure
our
the
committee
yeah,
together first.
we
and
need our
then-
committee together too, okay.
Yep.
That's where my head was, I just wanted to make sure that
Yeah,
was.
the only suggestion I might have there is that you meet with your committee at whatever time it is, and then a half hour later, invite the COG and kind of tell them where you're at, or 45 minutes later.
Yeah, that's an idea.
Whatever, so you can have a free discussion, and then you can kind of.
Right, because I mean, I just think that some will be maybe reluctant to talk if it's not just the county talking about our needs, so they feel like they don't want to be offending the city or anybody,
Right. So, that's what I would do. I would make it a half hour of full discussion, or 45 minutes full discussion, and have the COG come in and answer any questions, or
Yeah,
update you on what's happening.
So what we're saying is on the 17th, the technology committee is going to meet, and then on the 27th, they're gonna bring back a recommendation.
We're gonna do the best we can.
Yep.
We figure it'd give us time to have a couple meetings in there, and hopefully we'll have enough information to give thoughts, recommendations, and that way we can, I mean, I'm sure they've read it in the paper, but kind of give them the thoughts of what discussions we've had in board, so.
And just remind me, who's on the technology committee?
We've got Jake, Judge Kelbley, Julie Atkins,
Sheriff.
Sheriff, Dan Stahl, Ken Majors. Who else was on that committee? Holly.
Then you're the rep from internal.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Is everybody, I'm sure, is Jean on it?
I don't
No,
think
she's
so.
on the
She's on the
subcommittee on the
scanning,
scanning group,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay, that question answered. On the 20th for Sentinel, what do we have scheduled?
Nothing yet.
Okay, should we ask a couple of elected officials to come in and kind of tell the students what their duties are, that kind of thing?
Yep, that's what we did at the last
Right.
couple.
Just remind them brief.
Right, maybe we can. just-
Under 5 minutes?
When I talked to
Yeah.
the director of the center, I was at the FFA banquet last week, one night, Elise Heel. They have these really cool banners that had just gone up on the wall recognizing their students participating, I think, this week in the Skills USA at the state level. And I asked her if that competition would be done, if she would want to do any recognition of those students, and she said that would be wonderful, so I told her I'd bring that idea up.
Good.
If you're welcome for them to do that.
Absolutely fine.
That would be good.
I'd love to see the sheriff there, and, one of the other elected officials, and possibly see if Mayor Chu has any desire to present. I think a 5-minute presentation by him wouldn't hurt.
That's a good idea.
And I did ask them if the new space, if we could, after maybe our board meeting,
Walk
walk
over that
over
building.
there, tour that building.
Oh,
and
good.
She said
Okay.
as long as there's nothing major construction going on, they thought that would be perfect. So hopefully we can do that shortly.
We still have an agreement in place to use that as a backup? Good.
Yeah. So,
Okay,
yeah,
that's,
I will do that.
that's great stuff. All right, anything else? Any other old or new business?
Is there an update on the Board of Elections, the design committee?
Board of Elections. No, the owner or whoever would sign the contract was out last week, so he's signing the contract or reviewing it to sign it this week, and we're hopefully gonna have to schedule our pre-construction meeting this week.
And on the design of the.
Oh, with the students?
Students.
I need to get back with him this week. We met with Board of Elections folks and we talked through the likes of what we liked of the different designs and narrowed down the opinions, and we were doing it kind of based on assumed cost, because we don't have that quote, on what parts, what they liked, what we liked, and we've got all those notes, and I'm gonna meet with the instructor. I think they have a spring break right now
Okay.
going on. And if,
So do
I'm
they
not
have
sure
one
of
more
that. I got
cut at the
called.
designs?
do they what?
Are we sending them back to design again? Is
I'm
that-
gonna ask the instructor what he thinks.
Okay,
I'm gonna ask him if he thinks that we've narrowed down the thoughts, or they wanna come back with one more.
Gotcha.
Or we're gonna roll with that one. They all kind of focused on one student, yet there was features of a couple of them that were like, so I'm gonna see how he wants to handle that, the instructor.
okay. And I'd like to suggest that when we get a completion date on this, that we invite Husted down for a ribbon cutting, and I'd probably even extend that further to whoever's running for Secretary of State at that time. I think Palanda's in the race, and Kathleen Clyde, the Democrat, I think, is announced. So, we have a chance to use that as a tool to bring them to town. It might be good to bring those candidates in.
Yeah, when I spoke to Secretary Houston a couple weeks ago and mentioned to him that we were doing some really cool things with our space with Board of Elections, and we'll make sure we tell him when we're ready to do a ribbon cutting.
Yeah, I think,
I put the plug in early.
those people are gonna all be looking for opportunities, so we might as well, utilize
Yeah.
that project.
Okay, well, since we're talking about scheduling, let's get there. Anything new about, any progress, getting the, appellate court or any dignitary here to hold the first session in the new Justice Center? Has anybody heard anything more? I know they were all working on it, but
No, I don't know if to ask Judge Kelby or Judge
if
Shuffle.
we put that on the agenda for the JJC meeting, then see
Oh,
where
okay.
that's at.
Yeah.
We gotta also get the status of Lady Justice at this point and get to that.
Yeah, I had a few calls from the law,
Library?
no,
The
Bar Association.
Bar Association.
Bar Association, they've gotten, whoever was doing it before has kind of had some things come up, so he's transferred to the new person working on the project, so I've got them the scale. I just gotta get them the estimated cost, and hopefully we'll have updates for our next meeting, so.
Well, the word that I get is, go ahead and get it ordered if we have to, and they'll figure out a way to pay for it, but.
They will or we will?
What's your home address, Michael, put on that? This is ordered by Michael Kirschner.
I don't think there's ever been a repo of a statue before, so.
Well, the guy that did our miniature, he used a Joseph from a nativity set. So maybe we could just use a Joseph from a nativity
Oh,
set
I'm
as
the
a
model.
space holder.
This
Have you
is-
seen this model that the guy put together?
This
Yeah,
is
they
Holy
see it.
Week, we can't be talking about Joseph.
Yeah, there's a guy that built this replica of it. Have you seen it? No.
Yeah, the model that was,
Yeah, there's a model. It's about this tall. Is that
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mr.
I don't
Robertson.
think they were here yet.
And it's
Model
really
was
cool.
here.
And then he had the Lady Justice, and I'm like, wow, why did you get that? And he's like, oh, it's a Joseph from a nativity set.
That's who's from Minnesota.
Somebody had it buried upside down in their backyard and sell their house, they dug it up and put it up.
He's this big. He's this big.
It was at the assured title, but I think it might be down at the museum now.
Might be, yeah, I don't know. He brought it back in to have us
It's
take
cool.
one more look.
The
He's
guy put a
made
lot
it-
of time into it.
And he's concerned that something might have changed in the design because he's watching this go up, and I'm like,
Yeah.
would you wait till we're done? And
You know, I said, it's good.
it looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes, it is at the museum, I'm almost certain.
Is that where it's at now? Because it sat up here for a while.
Yeah.
He was in
I
here
think
that
we
one
had it.
day and was
Yeah,
checking, make sure the design was right.
Yep.
okay, but we digress. Okay,
Was that a digression?
new business.
My
Joseph,
motion
Joseph was a bit, yeah.
was, and as opposed to the commissioners paying for Lady Justice, that we have a placeholder. That was my motion.
Titan Lodge, is that one?
It dies for lack of a second.
The statue is
The
dead.
policy thing.
right.
Okay, what do we got here?
New business, I
New business.
have a supplement to the permanent appropriations to the Ohio Peace Officer Training Grant Fund, requesting $1,000 put in their training line. And that's the only resolution I have.
I will accept the motion to approve that resolution.
So moved.
Second,
Thank you, roll call.
Commissioner Stacy?
yes.
Commissioner Thomas?
Yes.
Commissioner Kirchner?
Yes. Okay, the time has come for comment from the vast crowd. Any thoughts, anything that's on your mind today? CEO Zach, nothing? Okay, we are adjourned.
We made it last 15